welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica Long. With me, we have Mayor Eugene Foulcard with the City of Franklin. It's February.
Yes.
I'm glad I got you in here. You have been very, very busy, and we'll
Yes.
get to that shortly.
Yes.
But let's get back to recapping. 2024. How
Yes.
was 2024 for you, in your opinion?
2024 was extremely busy in the city of Franklin. We had been able to accomplish a great deal of projects that we had been working on for some time, and so we're very, very happy that we were able to take care of a great deal of projects. Our Casey Street project were complete overland, and we also addressed some serious sewer line issues on Casey Street, as well as some water line issues on Casey, and to do a complete overlay of Casey Street, which was a $2.5 million project. So we're happy that Casey Street has finally been redone. That street was in deplorable shape, had basically been collapsing, and we're fortunate that we were finally able to do Casey Street. Do I wish we could do more streets? But as funds become available, we will address other streets in Franklin for overlays. We were also able to finish up everything with the Yoakley dredging and Yoakley drainage project with widening of the Yoakley Canal, which we also had to cover a match on those dollars as well. So we were happy that we were able to address Casey Street as well as address the widening of the Yoakley Canal, which helped facilitate a great deal of storm water and drainage out of the city of Franklin onto the Franklin Yoakley pumping station. So we've been able to do quite a few things. We were able to finalize the work that was done for the O'Neill Recreation Center and the Broussard Harris Recreation Center. We had gotten a $1.6 million grant to do brand new HVACs at both of those two centers. And we had a couple of people saying, why didn't you all use that for water lines or for the water plant?
Right.
But these were CDBG funds
And
that were
earmarked,
specifically for COVID-related HVAC systems. So we didn't go at this money.
Yeah.
That's our tax dollars. Every April 15th, we pay our taxes. So if we didn't utilize that money for that, and that was the only thing it could have been used for, that's what we utilized it for. We allocated it for what it was used for, and I'm thankful that we were able to put two brand new state-of-the-art HVAC systems at both of the recreation centers. It refilters and recirculates, and it kills off any bacteria that might be in the air. And we were also able to utilize a $400,000 Love Louisiana grant to put brand new playground equipment at all of our parks. So that was $2 million that we were able to infuse back into the city, into parks and recreation, that if it wasn't for the CDBG funding through COVID relief, we would not have been able to get that money. So we were very fortunate to do that. It's the little things. I've always said the only way we could eat this elephant in Franklin is one bite at a time.
Yep.
So we've been aggressive with addressing the things that we know we could address the things that we know we could cover our match on. Now, there are some grants out there that there's not a match on, but of course, we're going to go at those dollars, but we have to live within our means and fight for what we can fight for. And we're also working on a major plant overhaul with the $2.4 million with our capital outlay money for our water plant.
Now, you're getting ahead of me because
Okay.
we did a recap. Now you're right. So we
Okay.
want to talk about the future of
Yes.
Franklin and where you see it going.
Well, again, as I've always been saying, the only way we could eat the elephant is one bite at a time. We have gotten $2.4 million in water plant rehab and also valves throughout our distribution system. Valving off different parts of the city will help us to shut off different parts of the city where we could isolate different areas to fix some of these water lines. We're doing major work in the water plant with new filters, new clarifiers, new backwash pumps to help us fight turbidity, new turbidity meters so that we can work on continuing to get a good water product out into the city of Franklin. So it's an ongoing process, and it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, I can hear it. I hear it in you right now.
Yes.
You got a lot going on, seemingly. Yes. And speaking of which, we are going to take a little, kind of go back a little bit and talk about water, but we can't talk about water without talking about snow.
Yes.
So come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Let's get right back into it. Of course, everyone's talking about water. But like I said, before we get to water, we got to talk about snow.
Yes.
Beautiful pictures, everyone taking these beautiful pictures, and they've been submitting to us. Snow 2025, I'm saying that because I hope that's the one and done.
Yes.
But January snow, that we all took pictures of. I don't know about you, were you even able to enjoy the snow? Because I know once that snow started melting, you were out there.
Yes, I did Wednesday morning, just briefly. My son and I, we went out and about. I tried to get my wife to come out with us, but she stayed in the house. But my son and I, we went out and enjoyed the snow for a minute. And I drove over to my brother's home, and then we went over to my sister's house, and just briefly.
Right.
Because I knew that was the quiet before the storm.
Oh, okay.
And at the same time, it was very beautiful, very memorable, very enjoyable. Again, I knew we had some predicted 12-degree weather later on that night. I was always concerned about our infrastructure and our water lines. As I told someone the other day when we were in the midst of all of that, I have a hard time with my infrastructure system on a good day.
Right.
Let alone a day when we're having 12-degree weather and we're in the South Louisiana blizzard. I knew we would have some trying times of fighting this battle, and it was quite rough at times.
Now I'm gonna ask a question I'm sure you probably get, and I think I already know the answer. But the question I'm sure you probably get is, why can't you just fix the whole system?
Well, it's very, very expensive, very costly. There are different components of the infrastructure system in Franklin that probably should have been addressed 59 years ago, 60 years ago. I was looking when I took office, and I said, let me see what was going on the year I was born in 1966 in Franklin, where they were talking about building the brand new water plant that we're using right now. It was in 1966. They were also talking about water lines that had been down in some of the historical areas of Franklin at that time for 66 years. So they had gone down in 1900, 1908, 1910, when water lines were just being used for distribution at the time. Those lines are still being utilized. So we have a very old system. The only way we could do it is bite the elephant
pretty much as they
one
break,
bite at
that's
a
when you're
time,
able to go.
and as they break, we
Yeah.
fix them and we keep it moving.
And then once you fix them, are you saying put valves there, that way you
Yeah.
won't have to cut off the
well,
entire...
the valves is a different process, and we're going to address the valves with this grant that we have. But whenever we do fix the water lines, we're going back in with brand new PVC pipes, brand new equipment, so that slowly but surely, every time there's a broken line in Franklin, we're going back in with brand new equipment or pipes. But we could have a line or water distribution line that could be fixed here, and then maybe 50 feet away or 100 feet away, 2 weeks later, another line may rupture not far from that very line. So it's a struggle. It's very, very is, again, it's not for the faint of heart. It's very discouraging because we know if we had the funding to really redo everything, many of those water lines are down in the middle of the street, so you would have to, tear the entire street up, or they're right on side of the street. So it's very costly because once you fix those lines, you eventually have to go back in and repave and re-cement everything. So it's an ongoing process.
Well, I don't have much time left on this, but I did want to remark on, and I pay attention occasionally to the Facebook page. You're right, it's very costly. It's not for the faint of heart. And look, in this studio, I stay cold. I can't imagine how it was for your workers to be out there in 12-degree weather, working in water, and dealing with snow.
Yes.
So I think you guys made an attempt to commend them for their work. I can't really get your comment yet because we got to go to break.
Okay.
But I did want to at least throw that out there because I can't imagine what it would be like because my hands are cold now.
I don't know what I could do without them.
Right. Let's go to break. Come on back. Welcome back. I'm here with Mayor Eugene Foulcard with the City of Franklin. Let's talk about something I don't think we've ever really had an opportunity to really talk about. And I was at the groundbreaking for the fishing pier on 5th Street. And not only is it a fishing pier, but it's also kind of a launch for kayakers if they would like to, use it for kayaking in that area. How's that going?
That has been very heavily utilized.
Okay.
We have a great deal of our residents that utilize that fishing pier for fishing. And I was very happy to see how heavily used it has been. And,
good fish over there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know because I might need a place to go.
And, catfish and everything else. So I'm just glad to see it being utilized because prior to that, there was a very shaky area that they would stand on to fish from. So that has been torn down, and we have the new fishing pier. So I'm just elated to see everyone utilizing that fishing pier.
Let's talk economic development. What's being done to grow Franklin?
Well, one of the things that I've always been adamant, and that's why I'm happy that we do have the infrastructure in place along Northwest Boulevard. Of course, I would love to see some immediate growth, continued growth on Northwest Boulevard. We're very, very fortunate for the Wellness Center and the medical office building, Bayou Bend Hospital, along with the redevelopment and remodeling and refurbishing of Mr. D's truck stop. But there are some potential prospects of businesses that have reached out to City Hall for some potential hotel development and some other type industrial type businesses that may be looking to come into that Northwest Boulevard corridor. So, we're still working on it. It's still a work in progress, but the main thing is to have the infrastructure in place and also reassure all of those potential suitors that we are working and continuing to work on our infrastructure with water distribution and the services that we can provide into that area. Water and sewer is very key. It's a very key component to industrial or economic development.
Gotcha. I know one time when Bayou Bend was coming up, one of the, I think it was Senator Allen, the daddy, Brett Allen, mentioned about a roundabout because that, you're seeing those everywhere. Let me tell you something. They got on me because I asked about a roundabout in Morgan City. I'll never do that again. But a roundabout,
Yes,
I mean, you see them all the time again in Youngsville.
That's still in play. They were supposed to start on the roundabout after grinding season or the sugarcane harvest season, but I don't know the exact timeline. That is being handled entirely by DOTD with the roundabout. So it's still in play. Okay. Not as quickly as I would like to see it, but
I guess if they build
Senator
it, they will come.
Robert Allen and also Representative St. Blanc and I had talked about how quickly we would all like to see the roundabout get built and then they're also going to overlay the Northwest Boulevard section from the railroad track to the Walmart area.
You have quite some land right there.
So from the railroad track to 182, they're going to fix that as well.
Good,
and I understand that it's two different contracts.
Okay.
The state will handle that part of it through DOTD directly, but then the roundabout will be handled by, I guess, some subcontractors that will be awarded that job.
Okay.
So I think the other job will be done sooner than the roundabout. But as long as there's steady progress and we're moving forward with fixing that Northwest Boulevard corridor, I'm very, very happy about that.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to take another break, but come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. And while you're at it, grab your phone, grab your laptop, and subscribe to us. We are KWBJ TV 22 and would love to have new subscribers to the page, and you'll be updated anytime that we host the Voice of the Coast. All right? See you guys.
Pickleball courts.
Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Let's get right back into it. 2024, we talked a little bit about the recap, but mostly in infrastructure and different projects that you've been working on with the city. But also, too, I think it's safe to say that you haven't really had too many shootings that have occurred during 2024. Unfortunately, at the end of January, there was one that did occur. What do you attribute, to the decrease?
Yes, well, I think first off, Chief Hand and his staff have, police department, they've done a remarkable job of increasing the patrols, and they've kind of changed the dynamics of how some of the patrols are done with power shifts, where at peak times of where we deem some activity, we have 3 and 4 officers on patrol at any given time. So those power shifts are making a difference with how he's restructured some of the patrols that are being done. So we're very aggressive with that. We're very aggressive with anytime any shots are fired, we are going to aggressively investigate it, get to the bottom of who may have done this shooting. And I have a zero tolerance of shots fired in Franklin, and we are in the process of making some arrests on the shooting that happened last Wednesday, I think the 29th, January 29th. So we are very aggressively pursuing the leads and the ongoing investigation so that we could apprehend the wrongdoers who have, shot those guns in Franklin, because we're going to come and knock on your door and we're going to apprehend you, and we're not playing with that.
There were no injuries, were there?
No, there were no injuries,
Okay.
but just the simple fact that someone could shoot these guns near a school zone is troubling, and I'm very, very disturbed by that. And the Chief Handy and his department, they're not happy about that, and they're aggressively pursuing the leads to get this arrest made on that. There was one person that was arrested the day of with obstruction of justice in regards to this particular shooting that happened on the 29th. So we are making headway to make those arrests. We are working to disseminate this information in a more decisive and quicker manner, not to impede the flow of the investigation, but just to get the information out to the public. And we've talked about that as well.
Yeah, that's something, I would love for us to be able to hash out a little bit
Yes.
more. Pearl Rack, Miss
Yes.
Pearl Rack, because she's my sorority sister.
Yes.
But she
My
just,
former high school accounting
right,
teacher.
right. She was serving out the term for the late Larry Gilbo.
Yes.
She just announced, I think she's unopposed, so she'll be, again, the remaining term, which will be next year. Is that correct?
Yes,
That's when the election.
the 29th, 30th, and 31st was the qualifying dates for the unexpired term for Mr. Gilbo, the late Larry Gilbo. Ms. Rack was the only one that qualified, so she went back in. She went in unopposed, and the next election, regular election, would be in the spring of 2026.
Awesome. Okay. Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is coming up.
Yes,
Looking
March
forward
4th.
to people
We're always
in?
looking forward to Mardi Gras. It's a part of our culture. It's a part of what we do in South Louisiana. We are taking the necessary steps to ensure the safety of all of the parade goers so that they can be safe. We want to have a great time and enjoy our Mardi Gras.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.